I had an interesting experience this week. I was contacted by a former youth pastor. He must be in his 80s or perhaps 90 years old by now. I knew him when he was a young man, and there were three things that I thanked him for. It's like these are pillars in my life, ways that this man truly shaped my whole life. The first was he got me in the Word of God, a corny little tool called Teen Tune-Up Time. Yeah, you heard it, Teen Tune-Up Time. There's a little red journal, really, and it had a daily Bible reading thing in it, and you'd write notes. And at the time, I was like 14 years old. A friend of mine, an older guy, had a car that I wanted, a 1952 MG, and I was praying that he would keep that car long enough that I'd be old enough to buy it. In that teen tune-up time, I discovered Psalm 37, and it said, "Delight yourself in the Lord; He'll give you the desires of your heart." I started reading my Bible because I was praying so hard for that car, and it hooked me. And by the way, when I was 17 years old, I ended up buying that car. In fact, John had bought another car. He saved the car because he had heard from somebody that I wanted that car. Very cool thing. Um, I had an experience. The second thing was we had a large church, large Sunday morning event for high school students, and I got asked to give a 10-minute devotion. And boy, I got my preacher voice on and my preacher stance on and acted like an idiot. And afterwards, this guy, Ken Hyde was his name, pulls me aside and says, "Hey, Ralph, if you're ever called on to do anything like this again, you just be yourself, because being yourself is what people want." Well, it's kind of made me into what some people would think of as kind of a dowdy preacher. I don't have a whole lot of charisma, don't want to have a whole lot of charisma, just want to talk, in Hawaii we say talk story. And I just want to talk story with people about the Bible. And, it's proven very effective. It's been easier to make disciples because I didn't pose myself as something that was unreachable. I thank Ken Hyde for that. The third event is kind of wild. We were on a youth trip about 60 miles away to another town. I think there was some kind of a youth rally or something. They let us off early. One of the guys grabbed, we're on a church bus. One of the guys grabs an emergency flare. We got caught by the cops for burning holes in the pavement. It was quite an exciting day, but on the way home, something really weird happened. Two guys began firing Coke cans, and these days they weren't made out of aluminum, they were steel. And they're throwing them at the windshields of cars on the freeway. We're going down the road 60 miles an hour, boom, boom, boom. They didn't ever hit a car, but this guy, the youth pastor, stopped them and said, "Do that again and you're off the bus." Well, about 40 miles away from home, they did it again, and he threw the two of them off the bus. He lasted 2 more weeks in our church. Suddenly, he got a call to a really tiny church in a really tiny town. They just trucked him out of town because he had the courage to do the right thing, and he had offended the wrong people in the church. Well, that one got a hold of me. I have forever respected this man, and it's given me courage to stand up against authority when authority is wrong, clearly wrong, and needs to be stood against. And so, I wrote him and thanked him for these events. I'm hoping that he watches this thing because I think he's kind of clued into what I'm doing on the web. Anyway, this is my note to a youth pastor who forever changed my life. He got me in the Word. He got me to act like myself in front of people, and he gave me the courage to stand against what needs to be stood against. I hope this is a blessing for you. If you're watching this thing, please take time to subscribe to the site, and please offer comments. Maybe you think I'm stupid, or maybe, I inspired you some way. Put some stuff there because other people feed off of what you wrote. Thank you.